Okay, so I'm going to make a video here on foods to keep by your bed if you're trying to gain weight. Something like you're trying to, be a bodybuilder or whatever, or if you just are anorexic or if you've starved yourself for a long time and need to try to get back on the course. So right here I have these yogurt packs I found right there, just sitting right beside the bed. So I could just eat one of those whenever I want. And those have been out of the fridge for like a couple weeks. I'm not sure if I post a video on that or not, but the majority of yogurts will last like, I don't know, 6 months, a year, maybe longer. This thing right here has not been in the fridge for a long time. Now, some of your organic yogurts, they will go bad in like, I don't know, 5 days out of the fridge. But I've been testing that since 2020. I had a lot of yogurt stored in my vehicle because I've been living on, on the road for like 2 years now. Another thing is, I have peanut butter. Now, any peanut butter would probably work for you, but I like this natural stuff. Tastes good, and you can eat it all the time. It's probably a little more healthy to have the natural stuff. And then so I mix it with the food of the gods, honey. So what happens is this is like old, and this has not developed any mold or anything yet. See, that's where the food of the gods comes from. Is they say that the Egyptian rulers would be buried with honey, and the honey would still be good. So this is where I got this idea from. I didn't know anything about the peanut butter, but I knew it has protein and a little bit of the needed fats you need, especially if it's the real stuff here and not the fake stuff over here in this bag. Um, but this stuff right here, this has been like sitting out for like 3 weeks, and it's just like at the end of the bottle, like I ate the first bottle in like a week, and I got kind of sick of it, so I slowed down a little bit. Um, I didn't really get sick of it. It's really good, actually. I'm not sick of it at all. But I started trying to mix it up and eating other stuff. So I'm eating this stuff, and you can see there's like a little bit of wet area in there. That's honey, and the rest of the dried out stuff at this very last portion that's been sitting out here for like 2 weeks. It's a little bit dried out, but I can still eat this. It's still very good. And I'll just pour like some honey on it and take a few bites of it and go back to sleep if I'm hungry, right? If I wake up hungry, if I need to keep my calories up, something like that. I need to eat every so many hours. That's where your bubble gut comes from when you're bodybuilding competitions, I assume, right? It's not the insulin. Some of the other people have said that, and we can't always trust bodybuilders and what they say, but I assume like the insulin spikes your hunger. So, yeah, it helps you fill your gut constantly. I think eating large amounts at one time is what extends your gut. You see, your stomach and your intestines will grow when you feed them and put stuff in them. Just like, I get kind of sick right the last few months if I eat too much food. Like if I eat over like 300-400 calories because I get used to eating nothing. And so my body like was like getting sick from trying to eat again. Just like if you go from healthy foods to crappy foods or crappy foods to healthy foods, you get sick either way because your body's used to it. But this is a little bit different. Your organs will grow, and they say growth hormones, HGH, human growth hormone. A lot of the newer bodybuilders will use this, and we don't know anything about the older bodybuilders because they all lie about what they've done. So we don't know anything about them. But supposedly this is new, the HGH, and makes the gut grow and stuff like this. But so what you want to do to get rid of the bubble gut is you want to feed yourself every 2 to 3 hours. That way your whole system there is like not like super expanding to accommodate 2 to 3,000 calories. Even Jay Cutler recently came out and said he's not eating over 10,000 calories a day. So when people have said that they're eating like 20,000, 30,000 calories a day, they're probably lying. But this stuff right here, this is so good. And one way you can tell a dairy product is so good is it will expand and then it will explode too. And this hasn't begun to expand at all. And it's been out of the fridge for like 2 to 3 weeks at the very least. Whatever date that says on there, I don't know what ABR is, but 06 ABR 22. It's been out of the fridge for like a month. And this is good. Here, let's see. I'm not going to puke from eating this. I'll puke from probably everything else. Maybe everything else I do, but that's very good. Just like a little bit warm. I mean, y'all have seen, like, maybe you haven't. Maybe you haven't had the misfortune of seeing homeless people, but homeless people eat stuff out of dumpsters. And when I started noticing that my dairy products, certain dairy products I have, were not expanding, that means the bacteria is not letting off gases. That means the bacteria is not accumulating to begin with. So it is not causing a problem. I started testing all sorts of stuff after I seen this. And then when I started meeting a lot of homeless people and stuff, I just realized like y'all will literally pick food up off the streets and out of the dumpsters. Like we must be pretty princesses if we need something brand new from the store every day, and you guys are living off that. And so that's actually where I started eating raw meat and stuff. Although I've always liked a red burger. I always like my hamburgers a little more rare than cooked. I've noticed some of that stuff tastes really good though, like steaks that are like barely just touched with fire, are, like really good. And I never knew that, but I learned that from homeless people because it's like they're like, if those people are alive and they're not dropping off constantly from eating bacteria food, then we're little spoiled brats. That's the end. That's the end of that. I mean, they're really, you don't even need to test it. You just have to think about it, right? But this right here, this is what you keep by your bedside. Some yogurt. The yogurt's actually new. I've been keeping the yogurt I was keeping in my car for a long time. The honey and the peanut butter. If you're trying to gain weight, the honey and the peanut butter is probably a lot better than the yogurt, which is probably mostly just sugar. And again, some of your brands might vary, but like I showed you, if the lid is like down like that, it will explode. If it's full of bacteria, the bacteria will let off gases and it will explode. So you'll know it's bad when it's bad. And this right here does not taste bad or smell bad or anything. So good. I mean, kind of. I actually don't like this. Kind of like a mild brown sugar flavor. It's called cereal. They have a cereal flavored. A lot of cereal flavored stuff out here where I'm at. But it's not bad. It's not like bad. It's just like it's what it's supposed to taste like. I'm sure it's. And I'm not in the mood for brown sugar cinnamon right now. But it's food. Oh, look, there's some chutney in there. Probably because it's supposed to be, right? Probably because it's like one of those little pieces of oats in there. So good. There's no gassing at all. I'm going to turn this video off so I can go clean this up. But just keep this stuff by your bed, right? Like if I recommend just one thing, the honey and the peanut butter. Get yourself the peanut butter you like. I like this natural stuff. Some of the natural stuff is really, really oily. And I just put a little, that disposable spoon in there. That's not even big enough to get in there. So I got to get my hand dirty and I got to keep some wipes by the bed so I can wipe my hand off after using that. But these things are like really good um, for just, you wake up at what, 1 a.m. or something. You go to bed at what, I don't know, whatever time you do, 8, 10, 1 a.m. Wake up at 1:30. You're hungry, or if you're just so tired, you ain't gonna cook nothing. You're just gonna go and crash in the bed. You just take a couple bites. A couple bites of this. You're too tired to eat. Half the canister of peanut butter, 6 cups of yogurt, which is probably what you really need if you're trying to gain some weight. If you're too tired for that, just have a little bit. A little bit's better than nothing. Your body will deal with it. Your body loves fasting apparently, and God loves fasting too. God loves people fasting apparently. All the stories talk about how, and that makes sense too, because if you're fasting, that means people who you're trying to be more like the people who have less, and obviously the people watching us probably respect that if you're on that level there where you're not hoarding all the resources and stuff. But just keep it few there. This stuff right here ain't necessarily the best. You pay a little bit more, you get some Greek yogurt with more protein in it, but it's still better than nothing. And then this has a lot of protein, and then of course honey is the food of the gods, buried with the Egyptian rulers, Ra and Horus, people who followed in their footsteps, and they say it's still good like thousands of years later. And I guess like mosquitoes and stuff buried in amber and honey and stuff like that can be resurrected. At least their DNA, not resurrected, but their DNA taken out, right? Technically, like supposedly, at this point in time, we can resurrect with DNA. But um, I like the food of the gods there. That's pretty good. The honey and the peanut butter. But I already ate a whole one of those, and that one's like empty. You can see the bottom already. So I've ate 2 of those, and I'm gonna take a break for a minute and go back to my yogurt here for a minute. But if you guys need some quick food, you guys, you're anorexic, you're bodybuilding, you need to maintain your calories, or you just want a quick snack, you can just keep that right there. And look, that hasn't even begun to expand yet at all. Like, whatever that is, it's well pasteurized. There's no bacteria growing in that. And hell, I got like 10 packs of that for like $2. You can do your own shopping and figure out what's up.